ago was it that that you got the bad news about having a problem with your esophagus?
2 years ago this March. So
March 15th, 2007.
The cancer first occurred in 2002. A surgery was performed on November 11 to remove the primary tumor, the esophagus, and part of the stomach, followed by a gastric pull-through. The diagnosis was moderately differentiated adenocarcinoma of the esophagus and stomach, an early T1 tumor. However, in only 4 years and 4 months, on March 15, 2007, CT scans revealed new tumors in both the left lung and the abdomen. CTs of May 9th demonstrated near doubling of the lung tumor and steady growth of the huge mesenteric mass. Ominously, biopsy revealed that the recurrent cancer was now more malignant than the primary tumor. And what was the experience?
the experience was bad because the diagnosis was bad, but that was just part of it. It basically said you got 3 to 6 months if you start taking chemo now.
3 to 6 months.
Jerry and I went home and talked about it, talked to our kids about it, and started looking at this alternative stuff, this Coley's therapy we'd heard about. Anyhow, we pretty much made up our minds, so we wanted, to go back and talk to the doctor and tell him where we're from, and get some more encouragement from him. And then we got back to, we made an appointment and got back to him, and the guy was like a different guy. He wouldn't talk about alternative stuff. As a matter of fact, we got in his office. Jaren had some pamphlets and sheets of paper she'd put together to show the guy so he could be educated on what this is all about. And the guy just was like, hey, I don't have time for this. I'm too busy. I can't do this. He literally got up, put his papers under his arm, not our papers, his papers, walked out the door.
No kidding.
That's in you, buddy.
Actually, we knew we were on the right track when Dr. Zuckerman picked up his folder and said, I don't have time for this. And I said, Dr. Zuckerman, you told us that we should go ahead and do our homework. We have some things to tell you about. And he said, what kind of proof do you have? And I said, well, and I was immediately on the defense. And I said, please, we do have some really interesting things for you. And like John said, he put his folder under his arm and walked out the door. Needless to say, he was fired.
The shots are painful, there's no question about it. You feel kind of crappy for a day, but hey, let me tell you, you don't feel crappy for an entire year like you do on chemo. My friend, the reason I went to alternative is a friend of mine died just a month before I found out I had what I had. And I watched the guy the whole entire year. He was in and out of the hospital. They were killing him in the hospital instead of at home. And he'd have been better off living 6 months at home and having a great life than what he endured. So anyhow, back
I'm so grateful that we found the Coleys. The fact is, when they gave us this bleak prognosis, and like John said, we told them, well, we're going to do some homework. We obviously don't have anything to lose. And we looked into a couple of different places that were very much into the Gerson diet. But when we met Gar, and besides the Gerson diet, the Coleys, which actually our son had found it on the internet and spoken with Don McAdam, and it was all such a blessing. And from the minute we went to that little hospital, we knew we'd made the right choice.
The first big
reaction. I didn't know if you could ever shake so bad and hyperventilate so bad that you can die. I know now that you can't. But there for a while I thought it was toast. I literally was shaking so bad that I thought I might actually break my pelvis from just being so tense, and my jaw was tight. But I couldn't catch my breath. I mean, literally, I couldn't catch my breath. I was like a pregnant, a pregnant chick. They stick a bag over her head so so you can keep breathing. And it was like, that's what they did. And it's like, I go, Jesus, I don't know if I could deal with many more of these, And so anyhow, we got through it, and I do know now that you can't hyperventilate yourself to death, and you probably can't shake yourself to death. I don't imagine, So you get through it. That was the worst one. I tried it in different places, and the arms for me work the best. When you get a shot and you get a reaction, or you don't get a reaction, they get really sore, and to the point where somebody just touches like that. They're your enemy for 3 more days. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. I'm not exaggerating.
We were very fortunate when our family doctor, of course, had word that we had been diagnosed, that John had been diagnosed, that we were going down to CHIPSA. And we were actually packing the car when our doctor called and said, John, I know what you're going to do. I respect that. And when you come home, I'm here for you. I'm here to support you in any way I can. And as John, the tumor on John's pancreas broke up, he needed 27 pints of blood in 27 days. I mean, this is good news because we're blowing this tumor to bits. The necrosis is incredible. However, he went through hell for the month of September in 2007. And Dr. Fairman was there for us. And
CT scans of September 3, 2007 revealed that the once homogeneous abdominal mass had begun to exhibit perforations, literally holes. The body's internal emergency signaling environment, which was triggered by chole fluid, had suddenly deprived the tumor of its growth requirements, and it fell into hemorrhagic necrosis. It was bleeding to death. PET CT scans of September 12 confirmed that large portions of the giant mass were losing the abnormally fast metabolism and sugar uptake that are characteristic of high-grade malignancies. The abdominal metastasis was losing its malignant potential. This was seen in the lung metastasis as well, with only a small region demonstrating moderately increased metabolism.
When you can see other people that have been through it, and they can tell you that it's not easy, but the results, speak for themselves. I would just say, you got to just keep on going. You got to keep on doing what you got to do. And I mean, it's not easy. There's no question about it. But the alternative is either one of them, either dying sooner than you want to, or deal with chemo, which is damn near as bad as dying, as far from what I understand and from what I've seen. I think you just got to.